Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to compare two mid-range phones, the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, that's the ZC553KL variant, with the Oppo F1s. So these two phones are priced almost in the same category. We have 17,999 pricing for these two devices. So we'll analyze a lot of aspects about these two phones and decide which is a better device to buy here. So both these devices have a lot of differences, and we'll do a comparison of all these aspects and see which is a better device to buy here. So without any further delay, let's get started with a comparison, and we have the first thing to analyze, that's the design and build quality. So design wise, you can see both these devices are made of metallic chassis. You can see here they have a unibody construction, and you can see that the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max has curved edges and looks quite good as well, and Oppo F1s is also really good looking device out there, but the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max is slightly heavier because of the larger capacity battery when compared to the Oppo F1s. Now both these phones are really well built phone, feels really good in hands, and there is a difference here because Oppo F1s has a front facing fingerprint scanner and a physical home button, while the fingerprint scanner is on the rear panel on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max. So in terms of the design and build, we would say both are equally good in terms of design, and build quality looks premium on both the phones. So it's a matter of personal choice on which is a better device to buy. The ASUS Zenfone 3 Max is slightly smaller in size when compared to the Oppo F1s. Now let's talk about the display. So here we have a clear winner. The ASUS Zenfone 3 Max has a full HD display, that's a 1080p display. On the other hand, the Oppo F1s has a HD display, that's a 720p display. Now the display quality is quite good on both these phones, but because the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max has better resolution and the pixels per inch is slightly higher, the display quality is better on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max. So in terms of the display quality, we would say the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max is the winner with the full HD display. Now let's talk about the software and the performance. So software wise, both these devices are quite different and have custom UIs. Now here is a major difference. One is the Android 6.0 powered ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, while we have Android 5.1 Lollipop on the Oppo F1s, which is quite outdated, almost 3 generations old. So that's one disappointing aspect about the Oppo F1s. So we'll come to that. Before that, we'll have a look at the UI on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, and you can see this is the Zen UI, and looks quite good, and there is some added features included. If you go to the settings panel, it's again a customized panel with Zen Motion. There are additional features like easy mode, kids mode, and added features included. There is also support for themes. You can download additional themes, and you can see there is a bit of customization options included in this phone, and there is also a custom toggle and quick toggles and notification center. So a lot of additional options are included. There is an app drawer, and here also you can do a lot of customization. So this is a really useful UI in terms of the customization, but the major issue is the amount of bloatware it ships, and that could have been avoided by ASUS. Now talking about the UI of the Oppo F1s, so we have this color OS, and this is similar to any other Chinese OEMs with multiple home screens devoid of an app drawer. And if you go to the settings, you can see this is a custom settings panel, and there are some gestures supported on this device, and this comes with quite a decent options, and some gesture support is also included, and there is also support for basic customizations, and you can also see it's a custom notification panel, and this is one of the useful options available in this UI. So it does come with a decent amount of options and tools. So in terms of the features being offered, it's not as superior as the Zen UI, which offers additional options for customization, but the color OS is definitely decent UI. But the major issue is the software, which is Android 5.1, which is an outdated one. Now talking about the performance, so we have a Snapdragon 430 octa-core chipset on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max with 3 gigs of RAM, and we have a MediaTek MT6750 octa-core chipset again with 3 gigs of RAM, and both these phones have 32 gigs of storage. Now Oppo F1s has additionally a 4 GB RAM and 64 GB variant, which is priced almost 1K higher than the base variant. Now talking about the performance of these two phones, so both these devices are quite decent in terms of the performance overall, and provides a decent experience overall. The gaming experience, we would say, is slightly better on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, and it also has a full HD display, so the graphic quality looks better on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max. And we also have two phones with a mid-range processor. They are not really powerful chipsets in this price category. We can say that there are better devices like the Lenovo Z2 Plus, the Leica La2 Max, which have Snapdragon 820 chipset, and in that category we are getting only a basic or a rather budget chipset, and that's not really great from either of these devices. So they are not really powerful chipset, but they do the task which without any issues in day-to-day experience. So that was the performance aspect. So in terms of the overall performance, both are equally good and does the job pretty well, but they're not really suited for heavy multitasking and heavy gaming. Now both these devices come with 4G LTE and dual SIM cards, and you can say that there is also additional SD card option, which is not a hybrid SIM card on the Oppo F1s. So that was the software and performance. Now let's talk about the fingerprint scanner. So fingerprint scanner is located on the rear panel on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, and it is on the front panel on the Oppo F1s. Now we can say that fingerprint scanner experience is slightly better on the Oppo F1s because it unlocks the device in really quick time, while there's a slight lag on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, but it is definitely a decent experience overall. Now let's talk about the call quality and other speaker performance. They're both equally decent experience, and the call quality also was quite good on both the phones. Now let's talk about the camera experience on these two phones. So we have a 13 megapixel shooter on both these devices. We have dual tone dual LED flash, laser autofocus and face detection autofocus on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, while we have a 13 megapixel shooter and LED flash on the Oppo F1s. And the front facing camera, we can say that Oppo F1s has better 16 megapixel shooter when compared to the 8 megapixel camera on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max. Now you can see the camera interface, and both these devices offer decent experience, and a lot of modes are there in the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max. Again, with Oppo F1s, there are a lot of additional features and modes. So both these devices are quite good in terms of the camera interface. Now talking about the camera performance, so this is one area we would say the Oppo F1s has an edge over ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, because ASUS Zenfone 3 Max clarity is saturated and the color quality is not really that great, and you can see that there is an yellowish tint in the photos that when we reviewed the phone we mentioned that. Now Oppo F1s is not really a best camera out there, but definitely better experience than the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, especially with the selfie experience. It's Oppo F1s which excels in the overall front facing camera experience because it's a 16 megapixel shooter. So in terms of the camera experience, we would give it to the Oppo F1s. Now finally talking about the battery. So we have a 4100 mAh battery on the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, while it's a 3075 mAh battery on the Oppo F1s. So now talking about the battery performance, we would say it's the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max which is a clear winner in terms of the battery experience, with almost 1000 mAh additional battery. And the additional feature about the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max is that there is a fast charging included, and also you can use this as a power bank, which means with the provided OTG cable you can charge other devices. So that's an added feature with a 4000 mAh battery. So that is the detailed comparison of these two phones. So both these devices are priced almost same, and the added advantage for the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max is that it has a full HD display. The SoC is slightly superior. The Snapdragon 430 is slightly superior with the GPU performance when compared to the Oppo F1s, and also it has a better software than the Android 6.0 Marshmallow and the massive 4000 mAh battery. Now the Oppo F1 has better experience in terms of the camera, so that's one area where the Oppo F1s excels. While neither of these two devices are really powerful and value for money devices, out of these two phones we would suggest the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max, because only the camera experience is slightly better on the Oppo F1s. Rest all features we would say it's the ASUS Zenfone 3 Max which has the clear edge over the Oppo F1s. So if you plan to buy these devices, we have the link available in the description of this video. You can buy using our link, and that helps our channel. So that's all guys. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.